Welcome to Walking Football TV. All right, capturing the happenings in the global walking football scene with the emotions, the passions, the triumphs, and challenges surrounding the sport. Now, look at my name, everybody, is Dr. Didi Mahmood, and today with me I have Mr. Paul Carr, okay, of the WFA, the Walking Football Association of England, and then FIWFA, which is the Federation of International Walking Football Association. And then we have also with me Mark Coleman of Team Spain, the founder. The founder. All right, give everyone a
Good
very
morning.
big clap, everyone. How are you,
Morning. Thank you very much.
gentlemen?
Very well, Dee. Very well. Excited to be
All
on the
right.
show. Heard a lot about it. So yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, Paul, you wanted to say
Yes,
something. Thank you, Mark.
all good. Nice to be here again, Didi. It's my second visit. Obviously, didn't make a fool of myself the first time.
You're a regular on our show. You're a regular on our show. And I think Mark will be a regular one too after this, Mark. All right.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see.
There's no fee involved, Mark.
No fear involved. No fear involved.
That's
Okay.
all. I'm very
Everybody,
cheap.
everybody, if you're watching us, okay, there was a little bit of technical glitch, a little bit, but then our fantastic, okay, our talented and very efficient, okay, producer, Mr. Panji Shafi'i of Senor Mani's Productions, okay, all right, he solves everything, okay, at his fingertips, okay, all right, everyone, again, Walking Football TV is powered by, okay, Senor Mani's Productions and Panji Shafi'i, and also WAFA, okay, Walking Football for Health Global, and www.ddfitness.com. Okay, my name is Didi Mahmood. Okay, I'm also the apart from being the host of Walking Football TV, also the president of Walking Football for Health Global, and also WFA's and FUFA, okay, international director of international development and research. Okay, all right, guys, I'm very excited to bring you up on air today because, okay, the competitive World Cup, okay, of walking football, okay, the competitive World Cup of walking football is coming in 2025 to be held in Spain.
It certainly
There you
is.
go.
Very excited.
Very excited. Okay, and I was there, Paul. I was there in 2023 last year. Okay, the Singapore team and myself, we were there. Okay, in St. George's Park, right? In St. George's Park. Okay, the home ground of the England national team. Tell us a little bit of what happened last year, Paul. A little bit of throwback.
Yeah, I mean, last year, obviously, a long delayed World Nations Cup, the first one, because we were going to do it originally in 2020, I think was the original date. But obviously, we had that silly thing called COVID came along and caused quite a few delays. But we ended up with even more teams than we expected from the start. So the time delay wasn't a huge issue. And we ended up with a fantastic competition in a great venue. Won by England in both age groups, but it was quite competitive. There were some really good teams there. Everybody seemed to have a good time. I think the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, and the standard of play was great. And we had a great closing dinner. The banquet was fantastic with lots of singing and flag waving. Everybody, a lot of friends being made, which is what it's all about, really. And I think the number of teams that we're expecting next time is huge compared to what we did in St. George's Park. And I know how much work was involved in getting the St. George's Park organised. So I have a great deal of sympathy to Mark and his team in terms of what's coming up in the next 12 months. But I'm obviously going to be involved to a degree, but not as much as I was last year. But it seems like only a recent event, but in fact it was actually August 2023. And we're doing it every 2 years, which, you know, we have to because we're quite old, really. We can't wait 4 years, can we?
Yeah. You know, someone out there was asking me, can we have the World Cup every year then, because it's so exciting?
Well, Well, it would be nice if only we had the time, the resource, and the people volunteering to do it. And we have got, and in terms of why we gave it to Spain, we had Egypt were interested as well, but obviously the political situation in the East was a bit awkward at the moment, and will be for a while, I think. So Spain was clearly the best option of those two, and it's going to be great. The weather's going to be nice. Hopefully, no floods next time. But yeah, the weather will be good. It's going to be outdoors. It'll be the first outdoor World Nations Cup because St George's Park, as you know, was indoors. Even in August, it was too risky to have it outdoors in England. But yeah, it was fantastic last year, and I think to have teams from Singapore, from Japan, Australia, Canada was fantastic. It was a truly World Cup, and next year it would be more diverse. There's even more teams from all over the world.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, Panji, can we put up that photo? I love that photo, the ones that you guys sign on. Look at that. Everybody looks so good. And it's a very momentous occasion, this one. When did you sign this, both of you? When did you sign this? Yeah.
Is that
go ahead.
For me, Didi? Yeah, no, we signed it in September, but we'd been having discussions way before that, because obviously the application took a good few months to present, and then Paul gave us the good news in July, I think it might have been, and then we had a meeting with the town hall and the sports city in Torrevieja, which is truly a world-class venue with 3 4G pitches, state-of-the-art pitches with grandstands on every pitch, 1,000-seat grandstands, swimming pools, and other bits and pieces. But they're well used to hosting tournaments there, so they host the likes of Real Madrid and Valencia and all the La Liga clubs for their youth tournament every year. And it was an easy sell, really. We explained what the World Cup and walking football was about, and very, very quickly we got the regional sports minister and tourism minister on board, who are now part of our team essentially. So that was the process. So everything really radiates out from the venue, and then after that, then we have to build the packages for the hotel and the transfers and everything else. So as you know, you've hosted and organised plenty of events. It's just probably like one of yours, and with all respect, but on a bigger scale. And I suppose the only thing that's exciting, but is also slightly daunting, is the increase in walking football throughout the world. So Paul mentioned before, there was it was a truly global event at St George's Park last year. And it seems like for me, it seems like a long time ago, but it was only last year, but the end of last year. And this year it's going to be, next year it's going to be even more so. So the numbers of applications amongst all the groups, and particularly the ladies section, which has exploded from just being last year, they were sort of just friendly games being played amongst the men's tournament. But next year, there's going to be a huge amount of ladies teams across all age groups. So, the only slightly daunting aspect of it from our point of view is how to absorb all these new nations and teams into an event. But we're confident we can do that, because like I say, the venue is world class, and we've got enough pitches to run the tournament at full capacity, whatever that might be. We don't know what full capacity is, Paul, do we? We're still waiting on to find out exactly the numbers, but we're confident we can deliver.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, Panji, can you put up the poster? Okay, and then let's look at the poster that you both published out. The poster on the World Nations Cup. Look at that. Okay. That's the date over there. Mark, do you want to tell us the date?
The dates are the last 2 weeks in October next year. And we have split tournament because of the amount of teams looking to participate, or the amount of nations looking to participate, and then obviously the teams within that. We felt that we couldn't possibly deliver an event that would be live long in the memory and be a great experience for all the players and teams, unless we split it over 2 weeks. So that's what we've decided to do. There is potential there for everybody that's applied to be able to play over those 2 weeks, and that includes obviously gala dinners as well. So with the amount of long haul teams coming, or teams coming from long haul destinations,
right.
effectively they're going to probably be there from the weekend before the tournament starts on the Tuesday, right through to the Friday, and then into the Saturday for the before they go home. So we've as I mentioned before, with the hotel and the other bits and pieces tied into an event like this, we've managed to secure a huge amount of rooms blocked off for next year already. For those dates, under different levels of accommodation, 3-star, 4-star, 4-star plus, etc. And what we're going to do is we're going to treat every single team and every single player as a professional. So as they land at the airport, the wraparound concierge service is going to include transport from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the venue every day, to the dinner on the Friday and back, and on a bed and breakfast basis or half board if they so wish. So really, we're listening to teams and their wishes, and what we've done is we're going to try and deliver on that, so they literally don't have to think about anything at all apart from playing football.
Yeah, I think that's very convenient, particularly for most of us who are traveling from very far away, and then we don't know that area very well and all that, So if you guys are taking good care of all of us, and then like you say, we don't have to think about anything, we're just there and just play walking football. I think that'd be great. All right, fantastic, Mark. Okay, Paul, tell us how many teams are we expecting to participate this year? Right, many, I know. You just sent me the information. Talk about
that post you just had up needs updating actually now, because we've had a couple more teams since then. I mean, we actually had a closing date of 30th of September, and since then we've continued to have other teams, other nations register their interest. So the last couple were Monaco, which I didn't realize they were playing in Monaco, so that's good news, and New Zealand. So it's just getting bigger and bigger. Obviously, at some point we have to say that's enough. Mark is saying that we can be flexible and we can accommodate a lot of teams, but it's now 44 nations and 118 teams, which, considering our initial target when we talked about this back in July, August time, was probably 64, I think, in total. Yeah. We were pretty much double what we hoped we would achieve. So the interest has been incredible, really. Clearly, some of those will probably drop out. A few might drop out. We had some dropouts last year, as you'd expect. If they struggle with financing, can't get sponsor, whatever, so they will drop out as the natural wastage. But with 118 teams registered, we are looking at a huge tournament, certainly the biggest international tournament ever held in walking football. I think by the end of the year, we will probably have a much clearer idea as to how many are definitely coming, because they would have had to pay a deposit by then, and that obviously is the crunch point for all the teams to decide whether they can actually afford to come over. And clearly, for teams like Australia, who's sending many teams from a long distance, then obviously financing is a key issue. But they managed to come last year. So we're hoping that all the teams that came to St George's Park, I think with one exception who we don't want to come, they're all looking to come again next year, which is good. Shows how much they enjoyed it. And in addition, we've got loads and loads of other nations that we're delighted to have. Teams like Brazil. In fact, Brazil are so confident that they're and so looking forward to it. They've invited me and the England team to go over in the spring to give them some practice. And it's a bit awkward, really, because we don't want to make the other teams better, do we, really? Because we don't want all the teams beating England, do we, really?
That's the natural order of things, though, Paul, I think, isn't it? I think if we go back historically, there's parallels there where the game was invented in the UK, and then slowly but surely the other countries overtake us.
I know. We've been doing too much coaching. That's the problem overseas.
But again,
I mean,
Paul,
honestly,
you know
Gigi, it's
something?
going to be really good.
Yeah, and you know something, Paul?
Yeah.
Just last week, I had this show, Walking Football TV, and then we had Stuart Langworthy of Walking Football Association, right? And then I was picking his brains on what makes a good team, because England keeps on winning the matches and all that, right? Correct, Mark? We want to know what's the secret and all that. So those of you who missed that show, you got to watch the show again. I'll put it on the link at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to watch that show so you're gonna get some pointers on how to have a winning team, and
Well,
perhaps this time
I think it's a
maybe.
little bit more complicated than that, Dee. Stuart's a very experienced and very good coach. And he's been
Yeah.
coaching and teaching for a number of years. And I think teaching, when I did my badges, my coaching badges, what I noticed was
yeah.
the probably the better coaches, and the ones that imparted information and onto the players and accelerated their improvement were teachers by trade. And I think the two go hand in hand. So Stuart's got he's got a foot in both camps, so he's a very good coach, but he's also got a very large pool of players to select from, and we're not quite at that level yet. But as the sport's going through all the countries,
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
Paul
But
will agree. And I think there's something like the Sport England did a survey, and there's something like 100,000 players in the UK playing every single weekend, which is amazing. And slowly but surely, it's growing here in Spain and all around the world. So it's going to be fantastic. Teams are going to come out and emerge and get better and stronger, and probably giving a run for their money, which is what they want. They want closer games, and we want it to be more competitive. So that's what we're looking to try and do from Team Spain, and probably from everyone's point of view.
yes, very true, very true. So
I
so
think
I was go ahead, Paul.
Sorry, Dee. Yeah, at last year's World Nations Cup, I think we were quite surprised at the quality of some of the teams. I mean, teams like the Czech Republic were really strong. We hadn't seen them before. The Basque Country have grown significantly over the years. They're a very good team now. Spain obviously have grown. Italy and France are also quite strong. But Czech Republic and Canada were also strong. They were both two teams that we hadn't seen before. And that same thing will happen in Spain. We're going to get some surprise packages. And we're getting more teams from Africa as well. I think they'll be quite strong. And we've even got a team from Germany coming. Hopefully they've registered, because that was a surprise, because as you may know, Germany don't really play walking football. They play this strange hybrid version with no goalkeepers. So it'll be good to get the real walking football sport into Germany. And this could be a way of doing that by showcasing them at the World Nations Cup in Spain.
Yes,
there's
that's true.
definitely a will, Paul. There's definitely a will in Germany, but I think it comes from a group in Hamburg that I think I introduced the guy to you, and they're definitely very interested. And I think it'll radiate out, because there's different hybrids of walking football out there, with goalkeepers, without mixed age group teams, mixed sex teams, and I think there's a room for everybody, certainly at a community social level, whatever attracts players to walking football, whatever the format. For me, I'm a fan of. But when it comes to the international level, then I think that's where the competition. That's where we want to have the competition and the goalkeepers and everything else. But at the moment, I see it as room for all sorts of different hybrids of the game at an introductory level.
Yes.
If not as international level, perhaps not, but certainly at the entrance level, should we say?
Right, Mark. Okay, both of you can answer anyway. I want to find out what are the categories for the men, ladies, and age groups and all that. What are the categories?
So we've got men's is plus 50, plus 60, and now plus 70. What's really encouraging is that the plus 70, the entrance levels for that, or the participation numbers for that, are very healthy, which is a slight surprise to me. And then for ladies, we've got plus 40, plus 50, and plus 60.
And Paul, how many players will be playing per team?
Like last year, it's going to be a squad of 12. It's 6 aside on the pitch, but a squad of 12, because there will be quite a lot of games over the 4 days. So they do need a decent sized squad. And and everyone who's coming a long way is going to want to get decent pitch time. So
Right.
squad of 12 and 6 on the pitch at any one time.
Okay. And then again, because last year, we were playing with Australia. Okay. And it's really nice to see, old friends again, and then we're making new friends this, next year. So again, on the Australian team, we noticed that there are ladies playing in the men's team, basically. Is it still the same over this year? Like in 2025, will you allow ladies to play in the men's team?
We've already had that question actually from a couple of the countries. So there are clearly a few countries that haven't got women's teams, i.e. the sport hasn't developed that fast in terms of the women's game. So they want to bring a mixed team. And I think as we decided last year, if that's what they want to do, then we're an all-inclusive sport. So they need to appreciate that most of the teams will be all male. But as long as they're happy with that, then I don't have a problem with them bringing some women within the squad. And I think Wales had some women, but yeah, there'll be a few teams that will want to do that. So I don't have an issue with that.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Okay. The number of professionals, or ex-national players on the team. How many would you limit it to?
3, I think, is still the limit. We had that last time, and generally, walking football hasn't really attracted that many ex-professionals. Many of the ex-professional players in England are injured. They've got bad knees, bad hips, so they haven't really been able to get involved with walking football. But we have a couple in the England squad, squads, but they also have an issue with not running. Sorry, not walking. They do like to run, so it's not always that easy for them to adapt to the sport. But I know, I think that one of the teams was Georgia, who were going to come last year but couldn't make it. They were going to bring in Georgie Clancy, who used to play for Manchester City. So obviously there's a few other nations who have got ex-pros, but generally it's not going to be a problem because they just don't have the access to those individuals.
Actually, I think it's quite true. Most of we don't see many ex-nationals playing walking football at this point of time, right? What about your end, Mark? Do you find any ex-nationals, many playing walking football over in Spain?
I think I'm back in the game, Dee Dee. I think I just flipped out a second. I got a blank screen, so I've missed.
Oh, don't worry.
The last couple of minutes. No, we have a problem here in that a lot of the vets football starts at 35 quite early, and so they tend to finish. You tend to get very few players playing after the age of 45. Spanish players, that is, because they've played on hard pitches, on hard cinder pitches in their youth. And they've got injuries and what have you. So they're lost to the game from around probably early 40s. So then to try and encourage them to play from 50 onwards is difficult. There's not that many about. And then from 60 plus is really difficult because they've long left the game. So we're hoping that as we start getting more Spanish players in our Team Spain side, and there's more Spanish players playing in the local leagues, and pure Spanish teams playing local leagues, which are at the moment, then the word will go around, and then these people will come back out and get involved in the game. But for us, it's a particular problem where I think other countries don't have that hurdle.
Okay. Talking about the dates, right? I think you spent it over 2 weeks, isn't it, in October?
That's right.
All right. What are the dates for the different age groups?
The dates for the different age groups, without being able to refer to the poster, I can't remember. So we've basically split the competition over 2 weeks. So it's the third week in October and the fourth week in October. Okay. I believe we've got England. We've got
and I think the third week and the fourth week, I think for these, okay, I will bring up Panji. Could you bring up the poster again, if you don't mind? While Panji brings up that post, I'm going to read what what has been sent on the screen just now. This one. Can you see it, everyone?
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means it's the third week. Okay, it's all there. Those are the age groups. Okay, this one here. Can you see the cursor? I'm sending cursor, but I do not know whether you guys can see the cursor. Okay, just beneath the photos, and then you'll see the dates over there for all the different age groups. So that it spans over 2 weeks and all that, and then and then we're gonna have a party at the end of it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Panji. You can bring this down. Maybe if you can bring up, I think there's a few comments, right, that you actually put up. I would love to read those while waiting for Mark to come on back again. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. All right, there you see. Oh, one of the Facebook users was saying it would be great if mixed teams are allowed. I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think Paul, that's a good one. I think I saw it last year. Last year when we played with Australia, so I thought that was amazing, and we had fun as well. Yeah, because as you say, there are certain countries who couldn't have enough of players, male players perhaps. So if they can put in ladies players, why not, right? Okay, the next one. Okay, this one. Good evening, Didi Koji, one of the Japan Walking Football Association. We always cheer up for you, Didi. Yay! Thank you, Koji. Thank you, JWFA. There you go. They are cheering for us, okay, for our World Nations Cup happening 2025 in Spain, okay? All right. Okay. Paul, we played to WFA law of the game, right? Will there be any changes to the law? Any changes or any additions or any,
But potentially, we're not looking at anything at the moment. But every year we in the WFA we go to the member clubs and ask them if they would like to suggest any changes in the laws of the game. And FIWA have traditionally followed the WFA laws of the game. So in January, we would ask for any suggestions, and then they would go to the vote at the annual general meeting, which is normally in February or March. So potentially there could be a suggestion that all the clubs are keen to put in. Generally, we've been looking at the laws of the game for probably now 8-9 years, basically, since the game started, and there have always been changes. Every year we've tidied things up. We've gradually improved them in terms of health and safety, etc. But we're at a stage now where I think the laws of the game are pretty strong and don't need a great deal of tinkering, to be honest. So I would think that the majority of the laws of the game are going to stay as they are now. There may well be some tidying up of certain things, but we've spent so much time looking at it over the last 10 years or so. I don't think we need to do much more. I mean, we're not going to completely bring in a brand new law like the FA did with regard to team penalties, because in principle we don't agree with that. So there won't be any team penalties in the next World Cup. And the interesting thing that UEFA just came out with was no dribbling, which I think is a bit odd as well. So we won't be bringing that in as the law of the game. So there are, as you know, several versions of the laws of the game. The WFA one and FIWA one are the same. That's what we use for the National Cup in England and have always used for any of our international games that we play.
Okay. For the benefit of the viewers, okay, if you're watching this, everyone, okay, myself, Paul, and Stuart Langworthy, we have actually recorded an episode on law of the game for Walking Football Association, right? And I think we will put it out either this Friday or next Monday. So everyone, it'll be in our next episode. So don't miss out on it, because we were talking about the nuances of the rules and everything, so it'd be good, okay, if you guys are joining in on the World Cup, right? The World Cup, the World Nations Cup 2025. Okay, don't miss that episode, which we will put up, okay, either this Friday or next Monday, okay, 6 p.m. as usual. Okay, Mark, tell us a little bit more about the town of Alicante and and the sports city and all that. What can we expect?
Well, the event is actually held in Torrevieja. So we've Alicante is the airport everyone will fly into, or most people will fly into. And Torrevieja is 40 minutes south of that. It's typical Spanish town, tourist accommodation, beaches, bars, restaurants, a marina, and within all of that, it has this state-of-the-art sports city, which is bang in the middle of the town, and is fantastic. You know, it's sort of a standout, truly world-class facility. In a town where you'd perhaps not expect it to be, but it's there amongst. It's also an indoor facility. They have international events, so they're very well versed to, huge hosting huge events and for coaches to turn up, and everything's been thought out. So it's designed very well for a lot of people to visit and play and participate in whatever sport they might host, and then to leave again. And it's been well thought out and very modern. So it's modern change rooms, modern pitches, state of the art surfaces, and we're very, very lucky to be able to host it at that area, because St George's Park is a very difficult place to follow. It really is. But we feel that we can do that with this facility, and I think Paul will endorse those views because he's visited in September. And more importantly, it's got the capacity to host a tournament which is not only the biggest walking football tournament that's ever going to be held, it'd be the biggest football tournament the world has ever seen, full stop, because the amount of no other tournament has ever hosted that amount of teams in one place at one time, or certainly over 2 weeks rather.
Wow. We want to learn Spanish. So how do we mention that Sports City? How do we mention it in Spanish?
In Sports City, it's Desporto Ciudad. So,
wow, that's a mouthful.
Desporte Ciudad.
So it's
Torrevieja.
Oh, Torrevieja, Sports City.
Yeah, Sports City is Desporte. So it sounds similar. Desporte Ciudad is city. Yeah.
Ciudad. Oh, okay. I know how to speak French. Okay, so I must go there. It's fantastic. Tell us about the party, because I remembered last year. Okay, you tell us about the party, and then I'll tell you about last year. Okay, what we had at St George's Park, the after finals party. Okay,
the post event party.
The post event party.
Well, again, that's going to be another difficult one to follow, because St George's Park is a fantastic venue. It's a huge hotel, huge conference area and restaurant and everything. And everyone let their hair down and enjoyed themselves, and was an impromptu sing along and party sort of took place, which I was probably led by or began or started by one of our players, Andres, who won Golden Gloves at the tournament, and for some reason decided to charge around the dinner hall with a Spanish flag in his hand. But anyway, it seemed to then light the touch paper for everybody else, and it fitted the mood perfectly. And before we knew it, there's people dancing on chairs and what have you. But so we're looking for it might not be quite as crazy as that, because the venue, for that amount of people, it's very difficult to find a venue for 450, 500 people. So it's going to be held in the hotel, but we're going to put on a huge amount of entertainment, live bands and DJ, and we're going to have a guy coming over who's going to walk around the tables doing card tricks. So he's a member of the Magic Circle, and he's going to come over and engage some of the participants in card tricks and bits and pieces. So again, it's probably, that's the idea, that's the vision we've got for it. But to be quite frank with you, and with respect for an event like this, it's probably the last thing that's going to be organised. So it's quite low down at the moment on our list of priorities, but we're looking to make sure it's a memorable event.
Oh, but I think it's going to be very memorable. I mean, I enjoyed the after party, the post event party. I was at the head table with Paul and everyone else, and then there you are. I think you saw me. I think there you guys are on the chairs waving the flag, and we have Alex from Singapore, our homeboy. He was waving the chair, drinking the beers and everything. I think everybody was having a fun time, and I said that's one of the things that actually I truly enjoyed, and that apart from the whole playing scenario, playing walking football with everyone in the world, and then how day in day out, we wake up and then we go to the tournament and all that, meet new friends, and it's so fantastic because we're gonna meet old friends, okay, that we met in 2023 at St. George's Park. And I know that most of them are going to come again in 2025. And then we're going to meet the new friends again. So, I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it is. There are some videos floating around about the after party. I thought you might have had those to show, because
Yes.
there was definitely some videos that showed.
I'll show you the next time.
On.
Yeah.
There may have been some of you dancing, Dee, I think.
Yeah. You can't stop me from dancing. I mean, that's so true. I mean, it's so exciting, you guys. Okay. All right. Okay. One of the things. Okay. So let me understand this. So we have the dates over 2 weeks, right, Mark? So we have different age groups in the first week, and then another set of age groups in the next week, right?
That's
and
correct.
then the party. When are you going to have the party? Is it truly at the very end or in the middle, or what?
No, we've got two events essentially. We've got two different tournaments on 2 different weeks, so we have to have a gala dinner for everybody. We can't have anyone missing out. So we've got 2 gala dinners, and they'll be on the Friday. We're looking to finish early on the Friday and the finals day, and they'll be hosted on each of the Friday, and then hopefully there'll be people waking up with hangovers on Saturday and going home, or or hanging around for a bit longer, or maybe, obviously, referee's point of view, they'll be staying there for 2 weeks and reffing both events. But it's two gala. Everything is double, so it's 2 events, 2 gala dinners. Everything is multiplied by 2.
It's fantastic. Can't wait for it. I'm counting the months, actually. Okay. It's so fast, isn't it? I was just thinking, right? I think you guys were saying, it's just last year, and then now it's already this year, and it's just going to be next year. It's very, very fast. Okay. Now tell me something like, how will the fans be able to follow the tournament? I mean, for those of them like not be there, maybe they want to follow the broadcast or something. Are there any broadcasts being arranged in place?
Yeah, so we're in talks at the moment with 3 different companies, and we're basically putting that out to tender. Obviously, they've all got to fit a certain criteria, so the quality of the live streaming and the production has got to be top end. So we're making sure that's going to be it's going to be very professional. It's going to be streamed through our website. So at the moment, we've got a Team Spain website we're having built at the moment. We're going to have specific pages for the World Cup. Obviously, that will run in line with the FIWFA website as well. So we'll be just adding news to how the organisers are progressing, or how we're progressing in the tournament, finer detail stuff as we get closer to the event. So the live streaming will take place on the website, and there will be 2 pitches we're going to use. Of the 3 pitches that are there, the 3 full-size pitches, we'll use 2 of them. We're going to have 6 pitches, as opposed to 4 pitches last year, because obviously there's a bigger participation, and we can use the 3rd pitch for overspill games, or if we're running behind, or if we lose some time to bad weather. But on the 2 main pitches, there'll be a show pitch, which will be on the halfway line right in front of the main stand, and those pitches will be covered. Every single game will be covered on those 2 pitches, so potentially probably 7 or 8 games per day. On each pitch, 16 games per day. So anyone that wants to tune in, watch their friends or their family, whoever's playing, or their country in the event, will share those show pitches around. So everybody will be on those show pitches at one time or another. Most teams will be on there at least 2 or 3 times in the 3 days or 4 days that are at the event. So everyone will get the opportunity to have their games shown live. The production will be high, and they'll get and everyone will have an option then to tune in and watch those games.
Right, very well thought out. I think it's a massive event. It's a massive event, I think. Wow, fantastic. Congratulations, Mark, and congratulations, Paul. Okay, and then this is the first time that it's being held outside of England, isn't it? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the 2nd World Nations Cup. Yeah.
So again, okay, one of the things, okay, people will ask, okay, we want to go there and all that. We want to know what's the fee for participation for tournament fee. Is it out yet? The fee for participation, tournament fee and all that, right? Is it out yet, or do you want to?
That's over to you, Paul.
We're planning to make the announcement next weekend. Mark's putting together a brochure about what's included and what the various options are for accommodation and travel, etc. So that's it's been a little bit delayed, unfortunately, but no worries, it will be out this weekend. And obviously, I've been doing some due diligence on the nations that have applied, so we need to confirm whether we're accepting all the applications as well. So that's going to happen over the next week or so.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, what message? Okay, I'm going to ask both of you. First to Mark. Okay, what message would you like to convey to walking football enthusiasts worldwide?
In terms of what our event's going to offer, or okay, so like I say before, we know we've got a hard task to follow after the St George's Park, but fortunately we feel that we've got the right facility to do that. Then the next big hurdle for us is to accommodate all the teams that wish to participate in it and make sure that everyone has a fantastic experience, which they will do. And the fact that I think we're offering, like as Paul said, it's only the second one that's ever been hosted. It's the first one outside the UK. So what we're looking to do is up the ante. We want to make it extremely difficult for whoever hosts the third world nation to follow the level that we're going to deliver with this wraparound concierge service. So that would have never been done before. So it's literally about whoever's going to play, ladies, men. It's a question of packing your boots, obviously being good enough to hope, keep playing football, be selected for your country, pack your boots and think about nothing but producing your best football when you get to the World Cup and hopefully being successful in whichever side you play, because everything else is going to be taken care of. It's not going to be, you won't have to lift a finger. It'll be like being a pro footballer. And for those fortunate enough to have been pros already, it'll remind them of what they used to do as a living, and it'll be of a really high level. But literally from start to finish, from the moment they land to the moment they leave, they're going to be looked after, and all they need to do is think about producing their best football.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I mean, Paul, you set the bar very high with the, hosting the first one over at the St. George's Park, and we had a fantastic time. And then right now, Mark takes it another notch up. Okay, the bar is higher even. And I'm wondering the next year after that. Yeah, they're gonna have a challenge.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, we've already had three. We already had three nations express an interest for the next one, which will be in 2027 if we're all still alive at that stage. But it's going to be.
All of us will be.
Well, I'm a little bit older than you, Dee.
It doesn't show.
No, of course not. So already we've had Brazil. Brazil has said they're interested in hosting it. Also Australia and Egypt are still interested as well. So, and there may well be more, but obviously we've got some interest. And as St George's Park was successful, I'm sure Spain will be as successful, if not more, and that's going to encourage more and more nations to look at the possibility of hosting. Maybe Singapore could host one in the future as well.
Are you inviting? Why not?
If you've got the facilities, then there's no reason why not.
Oh, yes. We have the facilities. Why not, right? Why not? Yes. That's a very nice invitation. We'll consider, right? Okay. Paul, now, what would you like to convey, to the walking football enthusiasts worldwide? Now, this one is the walking football enthusiasts worldwide.
Okay. I think as we all know, walking football is more about having fun, making friends, and hopefully getting a little bit fitter and healthier. It has prolonged lives. It saved lives undoubtedly around the world, and it's fantastic that it's now being played, I think, in about 80 countries around the world, and that's growing all the time. I mean, we didn't know Monaco were playing, and we recently had an email from Namibia as well in Africa, which we didn't know they were playing. So it is gradually hitting every country, I think, and this World Cup, I think, coming up will obviously spread the word even further. and encourage more and more people to take it up. Obviously, at that elite level, it's only a very small number of people who can actually reach that level and get involved in the World Cup. But hopefully, it'll inspire people to get off the couch, stop watching television all the time, and stop eating junk
Yes.
food, etc. And they'll go out and play in their local club, because once you start playing, as you know, and as Mark knows, you get hooked. It's quite addictive. And I started my village club 3 years ago from scratch. No one was playing walking football in my village, and now we've got 40 players, and the village is only 1,500 people. So it's amazing what it does for people's lives, basically. And I think the World Nations Cup, which is why we're organising it really from day one, was to raise awareness and to get media attention, because there isn't obviously a huge marketing budget in any of the countries that we talk to, and it's all word of mouth, it's all social media, isn't it? So the more we can show it as an entertaining and fun sport, the more people will take it up and improve their lives.
That's true. That's true. I think the quality of life with walking football, improving the functional fitness of all ages. I mean, in Singapore itself, we are quite a young nation. I mean, when it comes to walking football, I mean, you guys are all set up with, with all the trials and all that, right? Before you go to the big event. But right here, we are. I mean, we are very, 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 very new. I think even in the Southeast Asia region. So the thing is that, but then it's picking up. I mean, that's the lovely thing, it's picking up, and everyone is playing walking football right now. I mean, last time it used to be very, very strange when you say it's walking football. What is walking football? Do you bring the ball, do you hold the ball and walk? I mean, that's what I was being asked. Is it like you bring a ball and walk, like, come on, it's football and walking football, okay, not running again, okay. And again,
Well,
I think by then, right? By then, we would actually be, addressing the issues of that's not walking. It's a that's not walking campaign that Paul, WFA, right? Walking Football Association did, right? I'm also part of the consultative committee, so I think we would come up with something, right, Paul, in order to address the issues of running, right?
It's still the sport's biggest challenge. It's going to take a long time, I think, to stop it. The campaign is working to an extent. It's still progressing. We're still finalising it before we go live in the new year with what we're proposing. But it is down to education. It's educating the clubs, and then the clubs educating the players, and the referees being strong. We've been helping Mark with training the Spanish referees who are going to be involved in the World Nations Cup. Obviously, there'll be some other countries involved, including English referees and maybe some referees from some other countries. So we're expecting to have a strong group of referees in Spain in the next World Nations Cup. I think it was it's important because it's going to be screened worldwide, and we do need to set a good example. So we don't want lots of running. Obviously, as in any sport, there'll be infringements. In football, you get lots of offsides, you get handballs, etc. So we will always have running. I don't think we'll ever get rid of it completely. It's a natural part of the sport, but we do need to reduce it, and obviously make sure that referees spot it and stop it as much as they can during the game.
Right. Okay, Panji, could you bring up that last, that last poster? I'm just putting up this poster, okay, for all the viewers out there. Okay, this episode is on the World Nations Cup. Okay, everything about the World Nations Cup, that's going to be held in Spain. All right, in 2025. All right, so make sure you share it. Okay, you share it so that if you want to know more about the Spain event, this is going to be great, Mark. Okay, it's going to be great. Okay, all right. Go back to the previous poster, Panji, the one with the email. Okay, for those of you who wants to give any feedback, perhaps, or you think that, okay, Didi, I want to be interviewed on this show, perhaps, okay, or you want to tell us about the happenings of walking football in your country, okay, please drop me an email over here. All right, and then that's my telephone number, which you can get via WhatsApp. That's the most convenient one. And then again, I guess if you can walk, you can play walking football. Come on, everybody. All right, if you can walk, you can play walking football. And I think this new sport to us in Asia, all right, in Asia, it's kind of a new sport, but over over at your end over there, I think it's been started way long before, isn't it? John Crute, that's 2011. Did I say?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. It's a world phenomenon. It's a world phenomenon. And all right, guys. Thank you very much. I mean, you have answered all the questions. Okay. All right, Panji, you can take down the poster. Thank you very much. All right, Paul. Okay. One word, and then after that, Mark. One word. Okay. One word. Okay. World Nations Cup 2025 in Spain. One word.
Phenomenal.
Woo! There you go.
Exciting.
I can't go with one word. I say can't wait for it. Okay, we are all excited. Okay, you guys are doing a wonderful job. Okay, and I think maybe when we have the time, okay, you guys, maybe I think I want to pick up on what you mentioned just now about training referees, and then we're talking about that's not walking or running.
Yeah.
So how important is training referees? How important is training itself for the coaches? How important is the individuals itself? How important is it for the team managers or the organizers? Okay, to make sure that we have lesser incidents of running in walking football. I think that makes a very good topic for our next one, perhaps. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll probably get in touch with you both again, okay, and then with several others as well, and then we can have a debate on air and all that, okay. So everybody,
Thank you,
okay,
Thank
for
you very much
all
indeed.
of you, okay, watching Walking Football TV, all right. So remember, the next episode coming out will be on the law of the game for walking football for under Walking Football Association, okay. Don't miss it, and then do write your comments below, because as usual, Paul and Mark and myself, we will reply to all the messages that you actually send us over on our Facebook, the Walking Football Association Facebook, or on Team Spain Facebook. What is the name of the Team Spain Facebook, Mark?
Team Spain. It's literally Spain Walking Football.
Spain Walking Football, and myself over here is Walking Football for Health Global, and also Instagram as well. Okay, so everybody drop the notes there and all that. Okay, and then we'll reply to you guys, and then drop me an email, guys, and tell me. Okay, what do you think of the walking football scene? Okay, myself, okay, your host of Walking Football TV. We want to know what's the triumphs, the challenges, okay, that's happening in your part of the world. Okay, so thank you very much, Paul, and thank you very much, Mark. Okay, this has been an exciting walking football. Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. See you soon. Bye bye. See
Bye-bye.
everyone
Bye.
soon. Bye bye now.
All the best.